Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
Good afternoon, honorable members, and welcome back from the weekend. I have one communication to make, and I wish to inform all honorable members of the business committee that there will be a business committee meeting which will be in the speaker's boardroom during health break. I thank you for your attention, and that marks the end of my communication. Yes, Deputy Leader.
Good afternoon, Right Honorable Speaker, and good afternoon to all honorable members. I wish to guide that we start with the business under 3 bills, and we start with the bill under Roman numeral 7, that is Bill 19 of 2025, foreign exchange. Thank you.
Honorable members, now put the question. The question is that we waive all relevant standing orders in order for us to tackle government business 3A bills. Bill number 19, foreign exchange. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary view say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried.
Government business bills. First reading, Bill number 19 of 2025, foreign exchange.
Honorable Minister of Finance, second reading when?
Good afternoon, Madam Speaker, today and now.
Thank you, honorable members. Now, therefore, put a question. The question is that second reading of Bill number 19 of 2025, foreign exchange, be taken today. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary view say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried.
Second reading, Bill number 19 of 2025, foreign exchange.
Honorable Minister, and by the way, congratulations. I'm sure you know what I mean.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much, and thank you for your good compliments. Madam Speaker, I stand to present Bill number 19 of 2025, the Foreign Exchange Bill. Madam Speaker, this bill aims at strengthening the regulatory framework on foreign exchange operations. It seeks to repeal the Exchange Control Act, Chapter 45, Subsection 2, and replace it with the new Foreign Exchange Act. The main reason, Madam Speaker, for introducing this act is to reflect the paradigm shift of Malawi government policy from focusing on controlling foreign exchange transactions to management of foreign exchange transactions by regulating foreign exchange flows entering or exiting Malawi.
Honorable Minister of Finance, I was just finalizing one thing with our clerks. I think it is made 7 days, but not 28. So we might still need a waiver for the 28 days.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Madam Speaker, before I continue, I beg to move that all relevant standing orders be waived in order for us to tackle Bill number 19 of 2025. This is so, Madam Speaker, because this is a very important bill, a bill that addresses the malpractices, surrounding foreign currency issues in Malawi. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Minister, honorable members are now put the question. The question is that we waive all relevant standing orders in order to allow the honorable Minister of Finance to present the bill, which has satisfied the 7 days notice, but not the 28 days notice. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary view say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried. Proceed, honorable Minister of Finance.
Madam Speaker, as I said, the Bill 19... Madam Speaker, good afternoon. And Madam Speaker, as I said, I stand to present Bill number 19 of 2025, the Foreign Exchange Bill. Madam Speaker, the bill aims at strengthening the regulatory framework on foreign exchange operations. It seeks to repeal the Exchange Control Act, Chapter 45, Section 2, and replace it with the new Foreign Exchange Act. The main reason, Madam Speaker, for introducing this act is to reflect the paradigm shift of Malawi government policy from focusing on controlling foreign exchange transactions to management of foreign exchange transactions by regulating foreign exchange flows entering or exiting Malawi. Madam Speaker, this has been necessitated by the foreign exchange challenges the country has been facing. The background to this bill, Madam Speaker, is that the Exchange Control Act, Chapter 45, Section 2, which was enacted in 1984, has proved to be irrelevant and problematic in terms of regulating foreign exchange market of the country. This is so, Madam Speaker, because many developments on the foreign exchange landscape that have occurred over the years. These include the part of liberalization of the foreign exchange market in Malawi, and in addition, Madam Speaker, developments relating to judgments pronounced in the courts of Malawi and challenges in interpretation of the exchange control regulation, for example, the exchange control or use of foreign currency in local transactions, regulations of 2006. And in addition, Madam Speaker, the sanctions regime of the Exchange Control Act is weak, as most malpractices are not criminalized, making enforcement of such law very difficult. Madam Speaker, this bill has the contents of 62 sections, and its key provisions are as outlined below. Number one, this bill seeks to enhance and consolidate provisions on foreign exchange transactions. Number two, this bill recognizes and incorporates into a new legislation the decisions made by the High Court and Supreme Court of Appeal on contentious provisions of the Exchange Control Act of 1984 and subsidiary legislations made thereunder, such as the exchange control or use of foreign currency in local transactions, in regulations of 2006, which have been subjects of litigation in the courts. And thirdly, this bill enhances the powers of the Reserve Bank of Malawi to implement and enforce the law on foreign exchange, the Malawi currency and bullion operations in Malawi, but it retains powers of the minister to set the policy regime of foreign exchange in Malawi. It does also introduce provisions which enhances the monitoring capacity of Reserve Bank of Malawi on cross-border financial flows. This bill, Madam Speaker, also provides for a revised sanctions regime by including administrative penalties and forfeiture, among other sanctions. And Madam Speaker, finally, this bill seeks to standardize penalties for offences provided in the bill and other related pieces of legislation in the financial sector. The impact of this amendment, Madam Speaker, is that it will help to contain leakage of foreign exchange that the country generates. Currently, the sanction regime under the Exchange Control Act is very weak. As such, would-be offenders are not dissuaded. In addition, Madam Speaker, the Exchange Control Act does not provide for adequate monitoring of foreign exchange. However, the bill adequately addresses the reporting requirement gap by authorized dealers. This will help in terms of ease of monitoring foreign exchange of the country. The bill, Madam Speaker, also provides for a framework for buying and selling of reserved minerals such as gold. Ultimately, the bill is expected to improve the management and availability of foreign exchange in the country, thus supporting the stability of the Malawi kwacha and thereby contribute to macroeconomic stability. Madam Speaker, I stand to request the August House to support this bill, as it is a timely bill that addresses the much-needed foreign exchange in this country. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Very much, Honorable Minister of Finance. I now call upon spokesperson from DPP. Yes, you have the floor, spokesperson and honorable member for Mangwich Mankibe.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for granting DPP an opportunity to respond to this bill number 19, Foreign Exchange Bill. Madam Speaker, allow me first to thank the leadership of my party for allowing me to respond to this bill on behalf of the party. I know my colleague would have done it, but he's not in the chamber at the moment. Honorable from Mangwachi Southwest. So I was trying to contact him where he is, because he is the one who has prepared all the notes for this particular bill. But let me try to do something on his behalf. Madam Speaker, if there are two monsters that are negatively impacting on our economy in this country, one of them is the lack of foreign exchange. Of course, the other one is the unsustainable high national debt. These two are the ones that are great obstacles to our economy, and unless they are addressed squarely and comprehensively, we cannot come out of the problems where we are today. So I would like to appreciate the fact that the Minister of Finance has finally brought a bill which is going to attempt to address the lack of Forex in this country. Now, Forex shortages can be tackled in two ways. One is to improve the supply of Forex in the country. So we need to come up with ways to generate Forex, which have not been included in this bill. So there are no laws at the moment that I see that are helping the country to generate Forex. This bill is mainly focusing on the demand side, where we want to manage the availability of Forex using demand management, whereby we want to stifle a certain sector that was actually finding Forex in their own way and using that Forex on behalf of this country. So, Madam Speaker, I'll cite one example that this bill is trying to introduce. This bill is introducing the fact that for somebody to import something and for that something to be cleared into this country, he has or she has to produce a TT copy. That means that you can only import through our banks. But the problem, people are not importing through our banks. It's not because they don't want to import through our banks, but because the banks cannot pay for them. So we want to find out from the minister how he is going to treat the period between approval of this bill and the time the Forex will be available in the banks, because it will not be immediate. Remember, if I have my request for importation and I'm not getting help from the bank, I could perhaps get the Forex through other ways. And the other ways are not always illegal. You can find it through other dealers. You can find it through other sources outside Malawi. That means that importation will not have a TT copy, but that importation is going to bring goods into this country. That importation is going to complement the official source of Forex. And in fact, the economy has survived that way over a period that we have been. So what has happened, Madam Speaker, of late is that if I want to import a grader into this country and the bank is not helping, I would ask my colleague outside this country to pay for me, and that grader would come into this country. That grader is a productive machinery. That grader is something that Malawi needs. And that grader has been imported using other sources without putting pressure on the official source of Forex, which are the banks. But now, if you immediately introduce the requirement of a TT, especially where there's not even a threshold, then there's a problem. Because goods cannot be imported into this country unless that Forex has come from the banks, and yet the banks do not have the Forex. Secondly, Madam Speaker, we want to bring to the attention of the Minister through you, Madam Speaker, the issue of trying to kill the black market using this requirement of the TT code. First of all is to say black markets have always existed and they will continue to exist. In every country you have black markets. They help to complement. Of course, they also harm the economy in one way, but they help to complement the motion of the economy. Now, I wanted to bring to the attention of the Minister a situation of transfer pricing, where if I want to import something worth 100 million kwacha, for example, and the bank is not able to remit that 100 million, I'm going to ask my supplier outside to send an invoice of only 30 million and complement the payment using a black market. So it is possible. I would ask for a smaller invoice, which I will send through the banks, and the banks would produce a TT copy for that importation, but the importation is not for all the goods that are coming. The importation is only for some of the goods, but I will import complementary to that. I will pay using other sources. So if we think that this is a way, the requirement of a TT is a way to actually discourage or stop the black market, it is not. There's this loophole that we have to think. The other issue, Madam Speaker, that I want to raise is the issue whereby we have people in diaspora. Now, those people in diaspora are remitting funds in this country for the first time because they were encouraged by the real rate. Now, the real rate of our foreign currency, of a dollar, is actually the one that is being decided by the black market, because that is the actual balance between demand and supply. So they were being encouraged by that. If we completely, for example, kill that window, those in diaspora would not necessarily, as we think, that they would actually direct their resources to the formal banks here in Malawi. Immediately what they will think about of doing is to reserve or save the money right there in a foreign country, and probably think of investing outside Malawi. That will happen because people will not be encouraged by the official rate that is existing today, since they are already used to the rate that they were getting. So what they will do is they will hold on. So those dollars will not come, and those items that they were importing into Malawi for investment will not happen. As it is happening now, people are actually, Madam Speaker, they are actually constructing, they are sending a lot of machinery, they are sending trucks, they are sending all sorts of things that we can use in the economy for production, but this will immediately discourage them. So we have also to think. So I'm not saying that this is a good thing, but I'm saying that as we bring a law like this one, which is trying to completely suffocate the other way that was actually encouraging the flow of Forex into Malawi, we will have to bear in mind that the alternatives of the people will not only be to redirect those resources to the official market. They can decide to invest in other countries. They can decide to save the money there and do something with the money there. Madam Speaker, all in all, I would say that we are supporting this bill because it is actually going to attempt to address the challenge of forex shortage in this country. Also because it is a bill that has consolidated all the regulations that were actually managing the usage of our forex in this country, because the law that we have today has got only 5 sections. Now those 5 sections were not comprehensive and they could not handle certain matters. So we're relying on other laws, other financial laws, but we're also very much relying on judgments that have been made through the wisdom of the judges. So now I think we have consolidated all that and bring together a law that is going to manage the forex in this country. And as DPP, we support it, but we have to think of the areas that I have mentioned, because it is one thing to come up with a law and believe that the situation is going to improve, only to end up seeing that nothing has improved because of the areas that I have mentioned. Madam Speaker, we support this bill. Thank you very much.
Very much, spokesperson from DPP and honorable member for Mangwechi Mankibe, spokesperson from UDF.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Before spokesperson from UDF, the deputy leader, you are rising.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm rising to beg to move that we have a supplementary order paper in order to move business under government business on upcoming businesses to bring to today Bill 22 of 2025, the wet fund for Arab economic development, construction and rehabilitation of Mangwechi Makanjira Road Project loan authorization.
Deputy Leader, honorable members, I now put the question. The question is that we waive all relevant standing orders in order for us to have a supplementary order paper which should move government business on notices, Bill number 22 of 2025, Wet Fund for Arab Economic Development Construction and Habitation of Mangwechi Makanjira Road Project loan authorization to substantive business. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary view say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried. Spokesperson from DPP, Commission and honorable member for Mangwechi South. Sorry, from UDF, sorry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Our spokesperson for finance is not here, but I'll just attempt to say a few things. But of course, the spokesperson of DPP, my brother, has said it all. But I'll just say a few things on behalf of UDF. Madam Speaker, UDF supports Bill number 19, Foreign Exchange Bill 2025. This bill is repealing the old Exchange Control Act. Madam Speaker, the problems we're having today, I think prices going shooting high, shortage of a lot of items. The main cause is shortage of foreign exchange. So whatever way that can be done so that we should enhance our foreign exchange, UDF supports that. Madam Speaker, I would also like to recognize the efforts of the Ministry of Trade by banning, I don't know whether it was banning or but just stop some items not to be imported. Items which are locally found, like milk, eggs, honey, vegetables, toothpicks, and this goes on. I wish he was here. Banning alone is not enough. What the government should have done is to make sure, maybe he's doing it, but I'm not very sure, that to capacitate those people who are already producing, because these are the ones who need to get these new loans. Some of the loans that are going to, people are getting, they're just getting the loans and spend the money. So I think NIF, although they tighten up to some others and give loans to others, so I wish this could be done. I'm saying this, look at the vegetables. If you just pass through the road to Planta Manguch, the M1, you find tomatoes being thrown away, all sorts of vegetables. But again, I'll use that other word that I used last week, that why are we just sitting here and watching these things? Why are we not finding a way of them to preserve all these vegetables and then export? One of the reasons why we don't have foreign exchange is because we're not exporting. We're just buying, including toothpicks and plastics and vegetables, which can be locally be done. So I wish we could all tighten our belts and make sure that we bring back those companies. But I know they went bankrupt. What was it? The Mulanje pig. Yeah? That was producing. Was it called Mulanje pig? It was producing pineapples and what have you. If we had those factories, maybe not at that scale. If we could go to India, I once had the opportunity of going to India. I became an MP and saw the small-scale industries there. They are very small. They don't even require big buildings. A small little building, and have a small machinery. They were producing everything. I also went to Japan when I was foreign minister and looked at this one village, one product. I don't know what has happened. I think it has just died a natural death. But had we done what Japan was doing, they started off from Norway. But in the end, this one village produces a lot of items for Japan. And today, Japan is where it is because it started off at that small scale. So I'm saying this because this you can connect it with foreign exchange. Madam Speaker, UDF supports this bill, but we've got to be careful not to be controlling everything, because some controls can spoil whatever good plans that government does. The Reserve Bank is supposed to be independent, but if we are going to poke off the nose in everything that they do, it means we'll be controlling the Reserve Bank. So we should try to, yes, control, but let's be careful not to over-control. Madam Speaker, I saw one of the items that you're trying, one of the penalties you can forfeit a business person's goods. This word forfeiture, Mr. Minister, it's scaring me. It scares me because I don't know what we can replace it with. It's so scary because what was happening in the past in the word forfeiture. So let's be careful also. Forfeiture, it's got a very, very bad reputation. But I'm not saying somebody does something wrong, no. But I don't know what we can do to make it sound better. Madam Speaker, lastly, the so-called investors, they're also draining foreign exchange. Instead of them bringing foreign exchange here and producing or making more foreign exchange for us, they are the ones draining. Because look at the businesses being done by the so-called investors. Some are running small restaurants. Some, you find them in Mangochi doing a job that simple business, Malawian businessmen can do. We want investors, real investors, not investors that will come there, even Musika, they're there. Everywhere they're there. So I don't know who's giving them the license. And I thought they're supposed to provide a proof that they brought foreign exchange. I don't know what's the limit. But we've just opened up everywhere, everybody is doing whatever they want. So please, that's another way of making sure that our foreign exchange is not drained out, but they should bring foreign exchange here. Madam Speaker, that's a little I could attempt to contribute to the bill. UDF supports the bill. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, spokesperson for UDF, Commissioner and Honorable Member for Mangochi South. And now, well, we're supposed to get a report from the Budget Committee. Yes, Honorable Government Chief Whip.
Madam Speaker, we have information that the budget report will be ready after break, and therefore we are willing to have a suspension on this until we get that report. However, maybe we could take a few contributions before that report, but we will not wind up until we get that report so that the minister can take note of that report.
Thank you very much, Honorable Government Chief Whip. I will now open the floor for general debate, and then we'll get the report later. The Leader of Opposition, I've seen you, yes, and then Zimba North and Cholo Central.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, Madam, for giving me a chance to speak on behalf of the people of Mlanje Southwest, but also general observation of the Leader of Opposition. Right Honorable Speaker, I fully support the bill. However, some of us who are close to the people, we know that sometimes when you are too strict, you chase out some investors. I can tell you frankly that many of the NGOs are now moving to Zambia. Many of the NGOs are moving to Zambia. Secondly, let's be serious. Huh? Kumbi, what is wrong with you? You are a minister. You are supposed to be a minister. You are a minister. You are supposed to listen. What is wrong with you? Listen to what I'm saying.
Honorable Leader of Opposition, address the chair, please.
We are talking issues which affect the nation.
Honorable Leader, address the chair. Honorable Deputy Leader, order, please. Order,
She
Deputy
is very
Leader.
childish. Now, let's be serious. I fully support what the spokesperson for DPP had said, to say that the people in diaspora, sometimes they find it difficult to do what they are supposed to do, to open accounts here. I'll give you an example. I have a dollar account, I have a euro account. Money is coming into the euro account or in the dollar account. Now, when it comes to traveling, they give you $1,000. They say, sorry, we don't have FOREX. But then there's the issue of selective justice. While that is the case, another one comes, is given more money than you, who brings money into the country. I am saying this in order that the minister must be aware that there are certain behaviors, certain things which are done which will not encourage people to invest in this country, or at least those in diaspora. I can also say, including myself, because I find the behavior which is done there is selective. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leader of Opposition. Mzimba, no.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Leader of Opposition, for the compliments of what I was about to follow. Madam Speaker, foreign exchange bill, what does it address, and what are the factors that it intends to address? I think that is the principle that we should be following. Madam Speaker, when we're talking of balance of payment, we're talking about capital account and current account. This bill is actually addressing the capital account, also called the financial account. Madam Speaker, the current account and financial account is affected by three parameters: interest rates, inflation, and indeed the value of the currency. Madam Speaker, the value of the currency can deplete just based because neighboring countries, their inflation is low, is high, the interests are high. And if you go to capital account, the capital account is determined by the goods market incomes. Madam Speaker, this government has failed to raise the price of fuel, and it has created a deficiency in a trade deficit to Zambia, Tanzania. Trucks come here and buy fuel which has been bought by FOREX, and they offload into Zambia, which, because Malawi is a low-priced fuel prices. Why can't you increase the price of fuel so that the current account of fuel is reflected that the goods or the income which is at parity with Zambia will not create a deficiency or a trade deflation in favor of Zambia? That's one thing. The second thing, Madam Speaker, cement. We do not know when we have a proper capital current account deficit of cement. When we are trading cement in Malawi and Zambia, we produce cement, they also produce cement. We should make sure that we diffuse the peak periods of demands in Malawi as well as in Zambia. If the peak periods in Zambia is and Malawi is at the same, we are importing cement at a very, very high price. We are actually exporting the dollars. Madam Speaker, let me concentrate on the capital account or financial account. The minister must address what he is facing as a challenge to introduce this bill into this House. Is he facing interest rates differentials? Is he facing inflationary pressure, which is in the SADC? Maybe Malawi is very big and people are investing in Zambia instead of investing in Malawi. I am saying this, Madam Speaker. Most traders in Malawi, because of these challenges of Forex, are moving money out of this and opening an account at Chipata. That is at an individual level, it's micro, dollars are going. At macro level, it is quite, in aggregate, it is quite a lot. And people are trading, instead of trading on Malawi because there's no Forex, they're trading through Zambia. Again, that is capital flight. Is this bill addressing that? No. Madam Speaker, I think the minister may not be aware of what is addressing in this bill. The Alliance for Democracy in its entirety will not support this because we passed and agreed in 1987 to liberalize the economy. And under Article 4, under Article 4 of the IMF, we are saying administrative interventions and penalties which are unnecessary and uncalled for must not play in the market. Henceforth, we opened a lot of Forex and Forex Bureau and so forth to allow for liberal transaction and liberal permission to trade. We are now circumventing and going backwards and penalizing the very liberalization that we accepted. Again, Madam Speaker, let the bills be speaking to each other. We passed a shareholders bill here of banks, where you said ownership of banks must revert to 25% from 49% or 50% to 25%. All foreign owners of shares in those banks, you immediately introduce what we call capital flights. They liquidated their investments and converted the monies into the dollar and created a deficit in this very country because of wrong laws which we were passing in this country. Proper laws which must be guided and must be talking to each other are very important. I am happy you are talking about securitization. But do you know what securitization you are talking about? Securitization can take place in Malawi and can also take place outside Malawi. For example, again, auction flows, the tobacco buyers, they are actually securitizing in America, outside Malawi, of course even in Russia. But the transactions are taking place here. Where can this bill address? Can they address that kind of securitization? No, not at all, Madam Speaker. Let me also take a little bit to interventions on allocations. Madam Speaker, at all costs, I'm happy that the leader of UDF was looking at the independence of the Reserve Bank. We passed a bill in 2018 or 2019, independence of the Reserve Bank. Madam Speaker, when we move away from Reserve Bank and the executive arm of government is now allocating FOREX to preferred businessmen, to preferred or politically connected businessmen, Madam Speaker, that is a worst scenario of intervention, which IMF does not allow and does not support. Madam Speaker, that independence of Reserve Bank must be properly set, because in terms of securitization, if you give the proper administrative machinery to Reserve Bank,
Member for Nzimba North, you have a few seconds to go. You've gone past your 5 minutes.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, a proper functioning Reserve Bank will be able to regulate the price of the kwacha at the foreign level. It will be at the right value. It will be able to regulate the value of the bond. If we have the bond market, a proper bond market, Madam Speaker, regulations of all these foreign exchange, it will be properly done. And more especially security. But the securities market, maybe the other government side, they don't know what we're talking about. But if they can understand that, it is very, very important to solve the
few remarks, Honorable Member for Nzimba North.
With these few remarks, Madam Speaker, I keep on saying this. This bill has come at the wrong time, and I think we should have left it to us as the DPP and Ford when we take over government to properly put the bills together so that we can regulate this country and it come back to normality. With these few remarks, Madam Speaker, I support APM in the bid for president, and I'm happy that Central Region has accepted APM as the next president of this country. With these few remarks, Madam Speaker, congratulations to APM in advance for winning 2025 elections. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Very much, Honorable Member from Nzimba North, Cholo Central, then Lilongwe Mpenu.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for yet another opportunity that the people of Cholo Central do give their views to this bill. This bill would have been a good bill if it addressed, and I am hoping that the amendments that have been agreed to, Honorable Minister, that the amendments that they have been agreed to will be incorporated. Madam Speaker, what seems to be happening now is that we are trying to manage what cannot be managed by just purely amendments of the law. The question we have in Malawi at the moment is a question of demand and supply. We don't have Forex on the ground. Now we are trying to chase it on the other side, hoping that we'll catch it using different ways. Along the way, some of the proposed routes are going to kill the economy. We must remember, Madam Speaker, that apart from managing the reserves of our economy, the government or Malawi Revenue Authority must continue to generate revenue, to collect revenue locally. And some of the local revenue that MRA has been collecting has been coming into this country through black market revenues. For example, Honorable Mulanje West, I think if I'm not mistaken, Honorable Ntenda, 4 months now since he applied for $4,000, only $4,000 for a truck to come here. A truck that was going to be generating revenue for MRA to collect taxes. Now we are saying a TT must be produced on arrival. Meanwhile, we've got somebody in the diaspora who wanted to send money here, and he decides that I will pay for you, Honorable Ntenda, get that money and buy cement in Malawi, VAT and other taxes will be paid, and construct a house in my country, and we are saying that is completely no more. I am now thinking, how do we now help MRA to generate enough revenue when we are killing it on the other side? The approach that has been taken has got a number of disadvantages. Number one, we are going to limit goods and services in our country. And it will create a problem to the extent that we will come back here and begin to amend this particular piece. It will increase unemployment in this particular country. The approach we are taking, it will reduce economic activities in this economy, which is already narrow. And I want to invite the Honorable Minister to say, please, the amendments that we have proposed, for example, we've got manufacturers here that do not buy as we do, but they buy on lines of credit. Now, they don't pay there and then. They are bought on line of credit, they're allowed to pay later, and then you are saying, upon arrival, produce TTs. How is he going to do that? There is no way we have discussed the bill. That's why the amendments. So we are saying the proposed amendments should be incorporated so that we don't kill. Otherwise, the manufacturing industry will not do anything. Then let me invite you as well to look at the following. Cross-border traders. These ones who go to Tanzania with $2,000. They go to South Africa with $5,000. They apply to the bank, they completely don't get anything. Meanwhile, they were getting the dollar on the black market. You have completely closed these people because they
Honorable
want
Member for Cholo Central, there's a point of order. Yes, Honorable Government Chief Whip.
Madam Speaker, is it in order for the honourable member holding the floor to debate in anticipation the report by the budget committee? Is that in order?
Well, maybe I didn't.
He has actually mentioned that
he has mentioned
what he's talking about is in the budget report committee. The amendments by the budget committee. So that report has not been tabled yet. So is it in order for him to start debating on that report in anticipation?
Thank you, Honorable Government Chief Whip. You've talked of amendments, so we don't know which amendments, because we don't have any amendments as the bill is now. So meaning it's not in order for us to discuss because we don't have any. So if you're talking about amendments, we have not received any amendments. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, you've got a point of order. Mangochima Kebes, you have the floor.
Madam Speaker, I just wanted to try to put things in the correct perspective that when we say debating in anticipation in this House, we mean debating something that we know, we have seen it, but it has not yet come on the floor. So for example, a bill has been circulated. We have not had a second reading of that bill, but we are discussing something else and somebody starts talking about it. That is debating in anticipation. You cannot say debate in anticipation on something that we have not seen. We don't even know it. Nobody is anticipating it. How do you anticipate something you have not seen? And nobody knows about it. So that is not debate in anticipation. If somebody has seen a report which has not been presented here, because some of us, we haven't seen it, how could you call you are debating in anticipation on something that you have not seen and you are not aware of? So I think it is very right, it is proper that we have to follow our procedures very well, that we can only debate in anticipation on something that is among us, but it has not yet started being debated upon. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Very much. Honorable Member for Mangochimankibe, you talked about debating, let's say if you're debating on a bill in anticipation that there's a bill that will come. I think it's not just the bill. If you go to Standing Order 78, Part 2, Anticipation, it shall be out of order during debate upon any other motion, including a motion for the adjournment of the Assembly, or upon an amendment thereto, to anticipate the discussion of a motion of which notice has been given. So we know we are going to have a report from the Budget Committee. We do know that. Thank you. Proceed, Cholo Central.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and I know it was very important for the whip to interject me. I will take it from where I left. Madam Speaker, the cross-border operators who are, you can't even spell the number, too many of them. They apply to the bank, they don't find the forex. And those ones are now demanded that a TT must be produced upon arrival at Mwanza border, at Deza border, at Songwe border. When they applied to the bank, they didn't get the money. What that means is you are saying we are killing you people. Because they apply formally within the formal sector, you can't give them the dollar. I've just given an example of Honorable Ntenda here. 4 months, he is yet to be paid. Now, what we are saying is this is a trader who pays the school fees for his kids, who feeds himself using the same, and he can't produce the TT. It means you'll be unemployed and that person is finished. Killing the economy. Let me draw you again to foreign direct investors. When they want to invest their money here, their expectation is that they will be allowed to remit their profits to wherever they are coming from. Now, there is no forex to remit. You know what they were doing yesterday was to buy at least property so that maybe they can keep their money within the property industry because of the devaluations and everything. But now we've got the land laws as well that bars any foreigner from owning a property in Malawi. What that means is he can't remit his profits back home. He can't buy property here. How is he going to keep the money? And how will an investor come and invest in Malawi? So I am saying, and I am pleading, we needed to be moving towards balancing demand and supply, and that the economy should not suffer as well. And I was proposing that in our budgets, we needed to do a lot of import substitution. For example, the order that the Minister of Trade did was a very good order, but then the supply on the ground is not speaking to the order. Apples, for example, are we producing enough apples in Malawi? No. And we are saying we shouldn't import them from South Africa. Where are we going to get the apples from? And so on and so forth. We needed to get some money and invest into this import substitution agricultural sector. That way, whatever resources we were sending out for that is now getting down into our foreign reserves. I thought we should look at it from a broader perspective than just firefighting and bringing in something that is not going to work. Finally, as I conclude, Madam Speaker, I am pleading that the minister do consider on the TT the line of credit suppliers. Probably you would as well categorize the importers, small cross-border importers, those that sell cars, those that sell whatever, and you're allowed to reconcile. So you can do that. If they can consider those ones, then the economy will still be ticking, and I'm worried about revenue collection. We already have got a deficit of over about 2 trillion or thereabouts. And then we again kill the industry using the same. Otherwise, I've got no intention to put any sand here or to say no to the bill, but I'm pleading on this particular one, let's amend it for the better of this economy. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Cholo Central. Lilongwe Mpenu. Is it Mpenu Nkoma? Yes.
It is Mpenu Nkoma, Right Honorable Speaker.
Lilongwe Mpenu Nkoma.
Yes.
You have the floor.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. On a day like this, at 14:59, people of Lilongwe Mpenu Nkoma wish to proceed as follows. Number one, the aspect of monitoring in the bill is very, very critical. The question is why? We are aware that there are a number of NGOs, individuals that have foreign currency denominated accounts in Malawi. They withdraw, and how they use the resources, we do not know. So it is important this time to monitor such aspects.
Can I have order, please? Order.
Number two, Right Honorable Speaker, at 15 hours, we need to seriously consider the state of mind of those that are trading in this country. We need to seriously examine the state of mind of those that are trading. Many people go to the banks to apply for foreign currency. Immediately after conducting their trade, we don't see the proceeds back in the country. This is a serious matter. And not only that, the cross-border, trade sometimes has involved some people who are actually not loving Malawi. They will partner with people to smuggle out the most desired currency in the country. And I will not mention the side because this is Monday afternoon. Honorable Speaker, the issue of having black markets, honestly, this is a pain to this nation. Why should you go for a black market when authorized designated financial institutions are available in the country? Why do that? The answer I have at hand is that sometimes you create your own pain for others to hear your song. So we need to address this issue, Right Honorable Speaker. In short, we are actually saying foreign currency exchange bill is fit and proper because we know and we understand that there will be sanity on the market. Not only that, there is a Bank of Malawi who have the power to regularize and even be able to get hold of those people that are not doing things in the way they are supposed to be done. In short, the hour has come to sanitize the minds of those that are cruel to this nation. So I submit, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Very much, Lilongwe Mpenu Nkoma. But is it in order that you have stopped blessing the Speaker every time you rise, you used to bless, and now you have stopped blessing us? I'm sure all these honorable members are expecting blessings from you.
Right Honorable Speaker, that's a very good request. Sometimes you make a pronouncement, others are jealous of you. So I thought I could spare you. However, on a day like this, Right Honorable Speaker, a chariot loaded with blessings, grace and mercy will camp at your house for the next 62 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Lilongwe Mpenu Nkoma. Honorable Government Chief Whip, you're rising.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Since we still have the report from the Committee on Budget, members will still be able to debate on this bill. But for now, I would like to move that we suspend this bill until we get that report and move to government business on the supplementary order paper, government business 3A, bill number 2022 of 2025.
Government Chief Whip, honorable members, I now put the question. The question is that we suspend debate on bill number 19 of 2025, foreign exchange, and go to bill number 22 of 2025, Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development, construction and rehabilitation of Mangochi-Makanjira Road Project loan authorization. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary view say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried.
Supplementary order paper, government business, bill, first reading, bill number 22 of 2025, Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development, construction and rehabilitation of Mangochi-Makanjira Road Project, loan authorization.
Honorable Minister of Finance, second reading when?
Madam Speaker, today and now.
If no one wishes to speak, I now put the question. The question is that Bill number 22 of 2025, Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development, Construction and Rehabilitation of Mangochi Makanjira Road Project loan authorization be taken today. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary view say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried.
Second reading, Bill number 22 of 2025, Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development, Construction and Rehabilitation of Mangochi Makanjira Road Project, loan authorization.
Honorable Minister of Finance.
Madam Speaker, before I read out this very important bill, I stand to beg that we waive all relevant standing orders in order for me to present Bill number 22 of 2025, the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development, Construction and Rehabilitation of Mangochi Makanjira Road Loan Authorization Bill. This is so, Madam Speaker, because number one, the bill hasn't satisfied the required number of days. Number two is that I will not be available from tomorrow. Number three is that this is part of the funders' commitments, the four identified potential funders that are funding this road. And this, therefore, Madam Speaker, is a very important component that requires the blessings of this August House in order for government to expedite the Mangochi Makanjira Road construction and rehabilitation. Therefore, Madam Speaker, I beg to move, Madam Speaker.
Very much, Honorable Minister of Finance. Honorable members, I now put the question. The question is that we waive all relevant standing orders in order for us to allow the Honorable Minister of Finance to take Bill number 22 of 2025, which has not satisfied our minimum requirements. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary view say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried. Honorable Minister of Finance.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Construction and Rehabilitation of Mangochi Makanjira Road Loan Authorization Bill be presented before the House. Madam Speaker, the bill before the House seeks to authorize the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs to borrow from the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development funds amounting to 9.6 million, approximately 16.8 billion Malawi kwacha, to partly finance the construction and rehabilitation of the Mangochi Makanjira Road project. Madam Speaker, so far the government has secured commitments for co-financing for the project as follows. Number one, the Saudi Fund for Development, the $20 million. The OPEC Fund for International Development, $20 million. The Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development, $9.6 million. And the Malawi government, $28 million. In total, Madam Speaker, we have secured all the required financing of this particular project. Madam Speaker, the August House might wish to be informed that discussions with other prospective co-financers for the project are underway. However, considering the urgent need of the project has been divided into two lots. As such, the aforementioned co-financers, whose financing has been confirmed, will take the first lot, which will cover about half of the project. Madam Speaker, the honorable members of the House may wish to note and also to be advised that the main objective of the project is to improve trade, tourism, and transportation by constructing and rehabilitating the Mangochi Makanjira Road. Furthermore, Madam Speaker, the objective of this particular credit from Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development is to upgrade the existing section of the road from Makanjira to Unga, which is 14 kilometers, from a single-lane paved road to a full two-lane bitumen paved standard road. Specifically, Madam Speaker, this credit from the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development will be used to, among others, upgrade the Manjati-Unga section of the road to a bitumen standard, with 2 lanes each 3.4 meters wide, paved shoulders of 1.5 meters along the road and 2 meters in urban areas, sidewalks of 2 meters on each side, and all hydraulic structures, all large box culverts, all smaller box culverts, and all concrete pipe culverts. B, the project will also support the implementation of all civil works in that section of the road. Madam Speaker, the benefits to be realized from this project cannot be overemphasized. This upgrade will improve the road quality, reduce travel times, enhance safety, and ensure year-round accessibility. It will further support economic activities and improve access to essential services for the surrounding communities. Madam Speaker, this loan from the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development is being provided to the government of Malawi on a very favorable terms, which are as follows: interest rate of 1.5 per annum on the principal amount of the loan withdrawn and outstanding from time to time, and secondly, commitment fee of 0.50% per annum on the unwithdrawn loan balance, and loan tenure of 24 years, including 4 years grace period. Madam Speaker, you may wish to note and to be advised that the government will only be required to repay the loan and the 1.5 and 0.50 per annum interest and commitment charges, respectively, out of the government consolidated account. It is for this reason, Madam Speaker, that the government is requesting for an approval from this August House to access the funds that are on favorable terms. Madam Speaker, in view of the anticipated huge positive impact of this project on the lives of people living in the areas along the surrounding Makanjira Road project, the success of this project is of paramount importance and hence needs the support of this August House. Madam Speaker and honorable members, let me assure the August House that government will utilize these resources in accordance with the provisions of the loan agreement that will be assigned with the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development, as well as the Public Finance Management Act of 2022. Specifically, Madam Speaker, the government will ensure proper management of the financial resources, as well as effective implementation of the project to achieve the intended outcomes. Madam Speaker, it is also important to stress that these terms are the best terms the sovereign can get from Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development. May I therefore invite the honorable members to join me in thanking the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development for providing this loan to the government of Malawi. And I call upon the House to support the bill. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Finance. I now call upon spokesperson on finance from DPP. Yes, Honorable Member for Mangochi Mankipe.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for allowing DPP to comment on this bill. It is a bill that is complementing other sources of funds that we have already authorized in this House. And every time new resources are identified for the project, we on this side are very happy, because as they say, a road is only useful and obtains its full economic value when it is constructed and completed from the beginning to the end. So our expectation is that the road must be constructed from Makanjira all the way to Mangochi. These tranches that are constructing portions of this road will not add any economic value to this nation unless we see a complete road. Madam Speaker, you have noted that we have certain roads that were started in this manner. I'll give an example of the Machinga Lilangwe road project, where we obtained funds from similar financiers. I'm not very sure whether this was Saudi that time, but they gave resources, and I don't care. And I don't.
Members, can we hear the honourable member in silence, please? Yes, honourable deputy leader, if you've got anything, you can rise and ask properly. If you have something that you want to, you can rise and ask. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I don't care which administration, because if it were not for the DPP administration to put the groundwork and to sign financing agreements, to source all the resources for the roads that have been done in the city of Lilongwe, I can't imagine what this administration would have shown to the people of this country. Because on their own, they have initiated nothing and they have completed nothing. So I think it is important that they must appreciate.
Honourable member for Lilongwe, is it in Sozi? You're rising on it. Is it a point of... Honourable member for Mangochimankibo have a point of order.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I just wanted to make facts straight.
But I'm a spokesperson. I'm a spokesperson.
The 6
You're very
road,
right. Honourable member for
Sozi.
Let me give you time immediately after. He's
Thank
speaking in his capacity as a spokesperson. I'll give you immediately after.
Madam Speaker, I'm not going to debate in anticipation of his point of order, but he knows the truth that we signed all the agreements for the road that we are having the China aid constructing for us. We signed the agreement. I went myself as Minister of Transport to Tokyo. I went myself to Tokyo for the road that Japan is doing together with the bridge in town. We did it. And he knows that even the road that is starting, that the African Development Bank is doing from Mangochi to Msipe, we did it. And they also know that even the 6 lane here, which was not a 6 lane by us, it was a 4 lane. The only thing they added are the other 2 lanes, but it was our concept. So the whole Lilongwe has been conceptualized by DPP. That aside, I want to comment on this very important bill. Madam Speaker, I wanted to say that this bill is very important, and it is good that the Minister of Finance is able to identify other sources of money to complement this project. But I was giving an example of where we had similar financiers last time and had given money to do a road from Machinga to Lilangwe, on anticipation that there would be other financiers coming in to complement, and they never came, and they withdrew their money. So people say, where did the money go? But the money was withdrawn by the first financiers who had committed, because they had only committed on condition that the other donors will also give. So this is very complicated, Madam Speaker, when you have a project being financed by different financiers, and each one only gives the money on condition that the other one also gives. Because at the end of the day, these roads are assessed based on their economic value, and the financiers give the money based on the economic value of the road. And they only know that the economic value is obtained upon finishing the completion of that road. So, Madam Speaker, we wanted to give our caution on that one, to say, please, let's make sure that we hold all of them together and make sure that they all give the money in this basket. Madam Speaker, I wanted also to comment on the issue of where the Minister has said that these are favorable conditions, but for us, favorable conditions is not enough condition. What we want to hear is that this is concessional loan. Malawi is only allowed to obtain a concession loan. Now, when I look at these conditions, 1.5%, 1.5% interest per annum, and 0.5% commitment fees on all unwithdrawn amounts. So even the amounts that we have not started accessing, we will be paying 0.5% on unwithdrawn amounts. And Madam Speaker, if you look at a grace period of 4 years, 4 years is not enough period. Grace period must go beyond 4 years. So we are saying that these conditions might look favorable, but they are not concessional. A concessional loan, Madam Speaker, is where when you put together the three things, interest and commitment fees, and you put together the issue of grace period, and you put together the issue of payback period, you put them together and factor them in one fact, you have to come up with a 35% concession. In other words, what it means is that for every 100 kwacha, that you borrowed, you should be seen to be paying back only 35 kwacha. That's what it means. But is this concessional enough? For me, I don't think this is concessional enough, and the minister, maybe during wind-up speech, must not focus on favorable or best conditions. He must enlighten us whether this is concessional or not. Madam Speaker, we don't want to stand in the way of a bill that will see Makanjira, which is in my district, the Makanjira Road, the district where I also come from, the district where my president for the party also stays and has become his home now, and we would not want that this road should not be done. So we appreciate the fact that money is being found, and we want to support that effort. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Mangochimankibe and spokesperson for DPP. Yes, I'll give you point of order after Honorable Member for Lilongwe Nsozi. He was the first one. And then I've seen the Deputy Minister of Transport. Yes, Lilongwe Nsozi.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I just wanted to put facts straight, following what the spokesperson from the DPP had alleged, that what the Chakwera administration is implementing was actually negotiated and signed by the DPP. Allow me to take the honorable colleague to February the 12th, 2023, and there were articles in our newspapers. I'm just reading one of the Nyasa Times online paper, what they carried on that day. And the headline was, Standard Bank joins the 34.5 billion Kenyatta Zimbabwe development. And paragraph number 3 says, the deal was signed on Thursday in Lilongwe by Standard Bank and the Minister of Finance, Suspending, who hailed Standard Bank for leading the private sector to facilitate economic development. Now, Madam Speaker, when His Excellency the President, Dr. Chakwera, gave me the mandate to negotiate with Standard Bank for the 6-lane project, it would be misleading the nation to come here and stand looking at us point blank and misleading the nation that it was the DPP. Madam Speaker, it is Chakwera, and nobody can take away from Chakwera what he has achieved in the city roads, not only in Lilongwe, but across the country in all district councils. And the facts are there to prove it, because I was there, I penned that agreement, I negotiated with Standard Bank, and the money was 34.5 billion at that time, and it was Standard Bank South Africa that bankrolled that project. But the negotiations, we carried them locally with the Philip Madingas, with the Frank Chantayas, the team from Standard Bank, and nobody should take this away from His Excellency the President, Dr. Chakwera. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Very much, Honorable Member for Lilongwe Nsozi. Honorable Member for Mangochimankibe, there is that clarification from the Honorable Member. Yes, sorry. No, before I recognize you, had recognized other members, so I'll give you space. Yes, Lower West.
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for recognizing the people of Doha West to raise a point of order actually. Madam Speaker, is it in order for a man to start claiming that that beautiful wife was supposed to be mine, but I failed to propose? That one was also supposed to be mine, simply because someone grabbed the chance and is having very beautiful children out of that marriage. Is that in order, Madam Speaker? Because I'm raising this issue, my honorable brother from, Mangochi Monkey, he seems to be admiring children out of the Chakwera administration. Is it in order? Is it in order? Maybe because he admires the children that are coming out of this marriage, we can accommodate him on this side as quickly as possible. Actually, we have already started primaries, and we can quickly go to Mangochi Monkibe. I can see he's smiling. Is it in order for that man to start claiming that these children are his when he actually knows that the face of the children are actually for Chakwera? Is it in order, Madam Speaker? Thank you.
West, I'm sure it was for lighter moments. The Deputy Minister of Transport and then the Opposition Whip and Deputy. Sorry, and Honorable Member for Rumpino.
Your Honor, the Speaker, I just wanted to raise a point of order because my brother from Sozi, Honorable Sostin, has touched on it. But I wanted also to ask the Speaker, my brother, my good brother from Monkey Bay, is it in order for him to just isolate projects which have been fulfilled by His Excellency Dr. Lazarus Chakwera without him indicating what happened to Mzuzu Airport? What happened to the money? Because in 2017, Your Honor, the Speaker, in November 2017, the then President, His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, in November, went to Chikangawa, where he also touched on that and inspected on that. And in Your Honor, the Speaker, even in 2019, before MCP formed government, it was our colleagues, then the Minister of Finance was Honorable Manamveka. He had made an allocation to Mzuzu Airport, about 14 billion, but nothing happened. Can they come out clear in those projects? Thank you, Your Honor, the Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Minister of Transport. Well, I'm sure that was a question because we were discussing about the roads and you're talking about the airport. So probably, yes, that's it. Yes, thank you. Honorable Member for Rumpi North.
Madam Speaker, I was between 2016 and 2019 the Minister responsible for transport in this country. Madam Speaker, the three roads, and I want this to be put on record. The three roads, the road from Parliament to Bingu Stadium, and the road from Parliament to ShopRite, and the road from ShopRite, from Crossroads, coming through Possible Force in Old Town, were one component. And these three roads were supposed to be financed by three banks. And this must be put on record. Three banks, namely National Bank, Standard Bank, and NBS Bank. NBS Bank picked one component, which was the one from Parliament going to the Bingu National Stadium. Standard Bank was going to take the one from Parliament going to ShopRite. And National Bank was going to take the one from Crossroads going to police mobile force, to be joined by the road that was to be financed by the Japanese government from 2 miles coming to Lilongwe Hotel. From Lilongwe Hotel to Crossroads, we were going financed by local financing. This is how these roads were structured. And therefore, for someone to stand in here and claim something else is unfortunate. But these are the facts, and no one can change them. That is number one. Number two, Madam Speaker, my colleague, the current Deputy Minister of Transport, has talked about Mzuzu Airport. And I would also want to set the record straight. Mzuzu Airport, Mombela University, as well as Chiraka Airport were one project to be financed by Sajekowa. The financing was already agreed by the then Minister of Finance, Dr. Gudo Gondwe. But later on, there was a change in the financing arrangement to the extent that Dr. Gudo Gondwe realized that the interest rate was on the higher side, and therefore the money was expensive. He decided then that that project would not continue. He was going to look for cheap money elsewhere. That's what affected the three projects: Chireka Airport, Mombela University, and Mzuzu Airport. It is correct that the president then visited the site at Rusangazi because we had been assured by the financial year that money was available. This is the record. This is the correct record, and no one can change it. I submit, Madam.
Thank you, Honourable Member for Rumpi North. Honourable Members, it is 27 minutes to 4. I now suspend proceedings for health break. We shall resume sitting at 3 minutes past 4. House suspended.
Osaiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.